Governor, tell me a little bit about what are you most proud about in the time that you've spent in Maine?
What I'm most proud about are a couple things. One is the job creation. We've created nearly 300,000 private sector jobs, good, well-paying jobs. If you look at it compared to the rest of the United States, we're number 5 in the number of jobs created since I've been in office, out of the 50 states. That's great progress. But the other thing is about how we're bringing people together in Michigan. If you look at the lost decade, there was way too much fighting, way too much blame. We did it to ourselves. And now we're working together. We're doing a lot of things together. If you look at some of the things we passed in terms of supporting Detroit through the bankruptcy, that's incredible. Healthy Michigan, bringing health care to lower-income but hardworking people. Over 415,000 have signed up. Those are saving lives. That's the kind of attitude about how we're working together as Michiganders.
When you moving forward, I imagine, never having held a political office, when you take over, some of your time is cleaning up mess, and then as you move into a second term, it's a different feeling. How much are you looking forward to that, as opposed to walking in and being like, I got to clean up this mess?
Well, I am looking forward to it because we were a mess. We were at the bottom, 50 out of 50 in so many metrics. And the good part is we took on those hard issues. And unfortunately, some people have issues with that, but these are tough, hard things that need to be resolved. Everything from, again, talking about Detroit, that was 40, 50 years of neglect, to resolving an unfair tax system, to getting that put in place, to balancing budgets. I had a $1.5 billion deficit, to doing payment plans for a long-term debt. Going into a second term, though, I'm very excited because now we can focus on forward-looking things, and number one on my list is to continue something we already started, but dramatically expand it. And that's really making sure people get career connected, particularly in the skilled trades. We have this huge opportunity in our state to literally fill tens of thousands of jobs with career tech education. And I want to make that happen. And this area up here is a great illustration. You've got a great ISD in Traverse City. I've got it in my office. They gave me a brown trout that's all welded. It's awesome. So let's do many more of those programs across our state. They lead to well-paying jobs.
Talking jobs, it's still probably what a lot of people are going in. I mean, there's roads and healthcare and all of these other facets, but there's an awful lot of people, especially up here, where when they go in and cast that ballot, it's jobs. What do you say to those people?
Well, again, I've talked about the results so far. 5th in terms of the most number of jobs created of any state in the nation over the last few years. And we started at 50th. So it's a lot of positive progress. Let's just keep going on that path with the big opportunity being what we just talked about, the skilled trades and career tech education. We can dramatically expand that. We sort of broke it in our country. We told almost everyone you should go get a university degree. That wasn't the smartest thing to do. We never want to discourage anyone, but we need to establish a second track for career tech education so everyone knows it's just as honorable, it's just as important, and it needs to be emphasized that way.
Well, and there are jobs available, and they're well-paying jobs, and you don't have to leave northern Michigan to get those jobs.
Right, and that will actually attract more business, more manufacturing, more industry up here to go with tourism. Tourism is going well in Michigan. Pure Michigan's been a big hit, very successful. We lead the nation in terms of one of the best campaigns. Well, let's supplement that and add to the economy. And what a beautiful area to live. So we've got the quality of life piece. Let's continue the growth of the economy.
I have to watch a lot of political ads because that's my time to go get a cup of coffee during the shows. Education funding. There have been ads that have made claims. Talk to me a little bit about education funding.
Yeah, there's no argument here. It's basically I'm telling the truth. It's been validated by the Free Press, the News, the Lansing State Journal, and on the other side, to say I cut education is a lie. It's a flat-out lie. And that's not the kind of leadership we need in our state. So if you step back and look at it, I'm proud of my record. When I took office, or the year before I took office, education spending for K-12 was $10.6 billion. The budget I just signed was $11.7. The 3 years in between, if you add up the increases, it's over $1 billion. Now, I'm a CPA, but I don't think you have to be a CPA to figure out that's a positive increase.
Roads in Michigan, a lot of people, we're seeing the projects and everything like that. Where do roads fall as a priority?
Roads are a top priority. And I think there's a real opportunity to get something done in the session after the election, in lame duck. Because if you look at it, we came very close. And the real issue, the problem is we had legislators from both parties that was too difficult for them to cast a vote for a revenue increase before the primary and general election. We'll be through that period. And if you look at it, I think it should be a priority, and I hope our citizens continue to remind legislators about what last year's pothole season was like. Until we start solving that, pothole seasons aren't going to get better. So it needs to be a top priority.
I imagine when you went into office, it was a lot about making tough decisions, hard decisions, some bad news for some people. Would it be different this time?
Yeah,
because
in many respects we've got a lot of issues done. One thing you have to always recognize, though, when you do any action, there's likely to be someone that doesn't like it, but the toughest calls were made, and I'm excited about moving forward. The priorities are, again, we talked more and better jobs, career tech education, education, P20, which I call prenatal through lifelong learning. We're leading the nation now in preschool, and I want to do much more dual enrollment along with career tech ed, where you can get college credit while you're going to high school. If you can get a year of college done, which is very feasible, you can save 25% on a bachelor's degree, 50% on an associate's degree. And the third one is good government. We've been balancing budgets better than had been done for decades. We've got over $500 million in a rainy day fund, and we've got a payment plan for our long-term debt. Isn't that exciting?
It is. I do have to ask you one question that's a little more timely because everyone's talking about it, and that's Ebola.
Yeah.
It's a global problem. It's a federal problem. What's Michigan doing to make sure that we're as prepared as we can?
We're doing a lot, and we take that very seriously. Again, the federal government has primary lead, but we're taking actions within the state of Michigan. So we've had procedures for a long time. We're actually reviewing all those, exercising them. We were doing a tabletop exercise to simulate situations in our state. We're doing inventories. Do we have the right kind of protective uniforms? Do we have the isolation beds ready? What are procedures with public health departments and healthcare providers? We're making an extensive review of all that, and we're trying to do the best to stay on top of it because it is important.